In this lesson, we'll be looking at some GUI transactions. In asset accounting, a lot of the Fury apps are still based on GUI transactions. For example, creating an asset, posting acquisitions and disposals, and displaying the Asset Explorer are all identical whether you run them using a Fury app or in the classic GUI transaction. However, reporting is one area where there are a number of new Fury apps that don't exist in the GUI. So for those of you who don't have access to all the Fury apps, this lesson will show a few GUI-only transactions that don't have an exact Fury equivalent. Many of the reports in the menu have long transaction codes, that is, when you can find them at all, and there are sometimes different codes for different variants of the same report. For example, the asset balances report in the menu is the transaction S_ALR_87012963. So for those of you who are using the GUI, I've put together a list of mainly 4-digit shortcut codes for you. For example, the shorter transaction code for asset balances is simply AR01. Many of the GUI reports have similar selection screens. The little red, green and blue button opens up more fields to use as selection criteria. I usually select the ALV grid as it's more tabular, but you can try both to see which you prefer. If you want to include or exclude several items, you can use the yellow arrow next to the field and choose one of the tabs. The little flower button allows you to choose things like greater than, not equal to, etc. This slide shows an example of the format where the ALV grid has not been selected. You still have the same buttons at the top, but you cannot, for example, use drag and drop with the columns as you can in the ALV grid format. This slide shows the ALV format. You can drag columns to reorder them or resize them, which you cannot in the other format.